we're going to talk about SBF visiting the White House. So Sam has been in the news recently for a couple of different things. So he went ahead and visited the White House to essentially speak on behalf of the crypto industry. As most of you know, there's currently a battle going on in the White House with the CFTC and the SEC, who should have control or the say-so and lay the law down when it comes to crypto. So he went there for that. And then he was recently interviewed by Bloomberg, and he talked about some of the mixed results he had from the different crypto bailouts, as some of those are still going on. I actually want to toss this over to Jen for her thoughts.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the bailouts first. I think it's not surprising to see that there were mixed results, right? We saw SBF and FTX get involved in bailing out a lot of companies that were in distress because of the Terra Luna fallout, and I don't think it's a surprise that there are any mixed results. But I love SBF. He's starting to sound like a politician. He's really not giving us anything. He's really playing it safe. In the Bloomberg article, he says, he doesn't mind whether the SEC or CFTC regulates the industry. But then if you look at the CoinDesk article, FTX does currently have a proposal before the CFTC that says the agency should settle crypto-related transactions. So I just think SBF is getting really good at playing it safe in the media. And that is my takeaway from this story. Will, what do you think?
There's some great nuggets in this story. The first one I want to talk about is Voyager and BlockFi. Really interesting to see that SBF saying that Voyager was a bad purchase, a bad loan. I think they lost 70 million, he says. But BlockFi was not. And that's because they have the option to purchase it seems. Also because BlockFi has a really solid team, he says in this interview. BlockFi just ran through their cash flow. They burned out through their treasury. They didn't have a lot of options, but they have a solid product. They have a solid team, and they're still there. Really interesting to see that, and I like how just he's flat out about it. He kind of owns it. I also like later in the story how he's talking about to his team. He's like, your goal is to not get our faces ripped off. Your goal is not to make us a fortune. It's for us to make okay deals. And for looking at this huge brand, FTX, that just kind of popped on the spot after 2019, it's fascinating to think about what's going on inside the shop and how this brand has been so successful, because it's been huge, right? It's made so much money. Everyone's looking at this darling unicorn of the last bull cycle and wondering what is the leadership behind the curtain and what's it like to be on this team. And I think we get a little glimpse of that with the decision-making on the deal-making here. Zach, up to you.
Yeah, I want to go quickly to the Washington influence, right? This has been a long-term play from Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, big-time sponsor of the Joe Biden campaign last time around. I think it was the second or third single largest donor to the Biden campaign. So the fact that he has a little bit of sway in the administration would make sense, right? And I think obviously he's becoming sort of a celebrity of the crypto world, and the Sam coin is surging when it comes to political capital. So it would make sense that he'd be in DC having these conversations. And credit to him for being open about sort of the inner workings of the allegations of him being the JP Morgan of the crypto world, right? The guy coming in and saving the day. So yeah, the fact that this is out there, I think doesn't say a ton to me. Does indicate that, yeah, he's becoming one of those trusted figures who can go to DC and get a meeting and have these conversations. And I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon. And I don't know if there's anyone else sort of rivaling him for that cachet in the DC scene right now. Surely behind the scenes, ex-regulators working on behalf of various venture capital firms are likely having similar conversations. But in terms of industry figurehead, it seems as though SBF has sort of taken the mantle for some of these regulatory conversations in the nation's capital. Wendy, I think I saw your hand, though. I'm going to toss it your way.
So I'm wondering if any of because in the article, from what Will said, Sam said that BlockFi was profitable or could be profitable, from what I understand. So I wonder if any of the regulation that Sam's trying to push is also going to help with some of the loans and different types of passive income that you can earn on BlockFi. So if it will be kind of restructured and remodified so we can actually use these CeFi platforms, because it is a lot easier to use them instead of going to the bank for a loan. It's almost impossible to get a loan from the actual bank. From my personal experience, if you want to get a loan, you have to kind of do so at one of those check and cash places or use your credit card, and those interest rates are high.